Hello and welcome to the Mangum News Labor Day Special. I'm your host, Elijah Mangum. This week we'll be discussing the Jackson water crisis, President Joe Biden delivering a primetime address at Independence Hall, She-Hulk, Attorney at Law Episode 3, the premiere of The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, Florence High School's rivalry game against Richland, a small plane threatening to crash into the Tupelo Walmart, my weekly weather report, and my exclusive interview with Associated Press journalist Emily Wagster Pettus. Without further ado, let's begin. Governor Tate Reeves issued a state of emergency over Jackson's water crisis on Monday. He directed the Mississippi Emergency Management Agency to install an incident command center at the city's O.B. Curtis water treatment plant. MEMA began implementing emergency maintenance and improvements on Tuesday. Meanwhile, Jackson Public Schools have gone virtual, and the National Guard has set up water distribution sites across the city.
This is a very different situation from a boil water notice, which is also a serious situation which residents of Jackson have become tragically numb to. Until it is fixed, it means we do not have reliable running water at scale.
As the governor said, the water is not safe to drink, and I would even say it's not safe to brush your teeth with because we are not seeing adequate chlorination and inability to consistently disinfect the water.
President Joe Biden delivered a primetime address at Independence Hall in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania on Thursday night. The focus of the speech was on what President Biden called the soul of the nation. In the speech, Biden attacked former President Donald J. Trump and the MAGA Republicans as a threat to democracy.
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic. Now, I want to be very clear up front. Not every Republican, not even the majority of Republicans are MAGA Republicans. Not every Republican embraces their extreme ideology. I know, because I've been able to work with these mainstream Republicans. But there's no question that the Republican Party today is dominated, driven, and intimidated by Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans. And that is a threat to this country.
She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, Episode 3 dives deeper into the genre of courtroom comedy. While Jennifer Walters' case with the abomination, Emil Blonsky, wraps up well and is hilarious, the subplot surrounding Megan Thee Stallion's cameo comes across as silly and pointless. Overall, I'll give it a 7.5 out of 10. The two-part premiere of Amazon Prime's The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power has breathtakingly beautiful visuals and musical score. However, the episodes suffer from slow pacing and too many characters, which makes the series' story unclear. Overall, I'll give it an 8 out of 10. Florence High School defeated Richland High School 42-0 at Brandon High School Thursday night. This is the 18th year in a row Florence has defeated Richland. Next week, Florence will face McGee at McGee. A small plane circled above northern Mississippi for 5 hours starting at 5 a.m. Saturday morning. The pilot, Corey Wayne Patterson, threatened to crash into the Walmart in Tupelo. The store was evacuated and the surrounding areas were put on high alert. The plane landed safely before Patterson was arrested. Patterson was an employee at the Tupelo Regional Airport and stole the twin-engine Beechcraft King Air 90. He was charged with grand larceny and making terroristic threats, and was denied bond in his court appearance on Sunday. Monday will have a 40% chance of isolated thunderstorms with a high of 84 and a low of 72. Tuesday will have a 40% chance of isolated thunderstorms with a high of 86 and a low of 70. Wednesday will have a 50% chance of scattered thunderstorms with a high of 86 and a low of 70. Thursday will have a 50% chance of scattered thunderstorms with a high of 84 and a low of 70. Friday will have a 60% chance of scattered thunderstorms with a high of 82 and a low of 68. Saturday will have a 50% chance of scattered thunderstorms with a high of 82 and a low of 70. Finally, Sunday will have a 50% chance of scattered thunderstorms with a high of 84 and a low of 70. First, can you kind of describe your journalism career leading up to your position at the Associated Press?
Hi, yes, absolutely. I graduated from the University of Mississippi in 1989 with a degree in German and journalism. And my first job out of school was at the Vicksburg Evening Post. It's just the Vicksburg Post now. It was still the Evening Post at the time. I worked there for about a year. In 1990, I was hired by the Clarion Ledger in Jackson. I covered Rankin County for a couple of years. Then I moved down to the Gulf Coast. I was the Gulf Coast bureau person for about a year and a half. I did a 4-month, it's called a loanership at USA Today in 1993. Gannett Corporation owns both USA Today and the Clarion Ledger. And so at the time, they had a program where local Gannett employees could go work at the big paper. So that was up in the Washington, D.C. area. When I was up there, the legislative job for the Clarion Ledger came open. So I applied for that and got it, moved back to Jackson, started covering the legislature in 1994. I continued with the Clarion Ledger until early 2001. That's when I moved to the Associated Press, and I've been with AP ever since then.
All right. Also, can you kind of describe, this is sort of a unique position serving a national news outlet at home, Can you describe how that all works and what your day in the life
Sure.
like?
Yes, absolutely. AP is I think we're still the largest news organization in the world. We have a reporter at every state capital. And so my primary responsibility for AP is to cover Mississippi government, but the staff in the AP has, like a lot of journalism organizations, has sort of reorganized and rearranged a lot in the last several years. So we used to have several people with AP in Mississippi. At this point, it's me and a Report for America person named Michael Goldberg, who came here in June, and photographer Rogelio Solis. So Michael and I basically are covering all of the big stories in Mississippi. Frequently, it's for a national or international audience. An example of that is the Jackson water situation that is going on.
Okay, and can you describe a little bit about how that works as far as, when you report on stuff, how do you bring your stories to the larger outlet, is I guess what I'm trying to say.
Okay, so we have layers of editors that we talk to. My direct editors are based in Alabama and New Orleans. We also have an editing desk, sort of layer of management in Atlanta, which is for the South region. And so we have sort of a structure for talking to our bosses about what the important stories are. There's a national call every day for all of the top editors at AP. They keep in touch about what the big stories are for the day, where we're going to throw our resources, what we're going to pursue. Some things naturally just rise to the level of being big national news. I mean, again, the Jackson water situation, it's the capital city, it's, although it's not large by comparison to many cities like New York or Dallas or Los Angeles, Jackson is the largest city in Mississippi. You have, a large portion of the population without the availability of water. So, I mean, water is a basic necessity of life. So when you get to that sort of human level of, how events affect people's lives, it's easy for it to rise to national attention. And one of my cats has joined me here, so I think we'll be getting some help from Oliver as well. This is my work from home buddy.
Yeah. What would be your advice to an aspiring journalist?
My advice would be to study history, to read constantly, and to read a variety of news sources. Get your information from a lot of places. Be curious. If you have a fear of asking that first question, take a deep breath and get past that. It can be scary to pick up the phone and, request interviews sometimes. It can be scary to ask what many people would consider to be confrontational questions in the name of accountability. Find a place within yourself to get past that fear.
That's all we have for this week. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Thanks for watching, and we'll see y'all on Sunday.